What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the ABJ Podcast. Season 3, 2025 has been awesome with some amazing interviews. Today is one that's another long overdue. So I had some people on here that I haven't talked to in a while. Some people I've always wanted to talk to, some great returning guests. But today is someone that we've been hanging out a lot in the independent scene, getting to know each other. They're very inspirational. Met them, I think, the first time at a battle royal at Suplex Mania. It was like the Catch Point student battle royal, but there was a whole bunch of people in there, and she went in there and just tore the place apart, left a huge impression, along as well as so many other very impressive people from Catch Point Wrestling. Before we get into the interview, make sure you guys always check the links below to support not just myself, but my guests. They have links, whether it be merchandise, social media, anything like that helps them grow. So make sure you go follow those pages. We do have the brand new merchandise for sale. So if you want to get the brand new ABJ Podcast Season 3 t-shirt, that is available now on TeePublic, as well as the ABJ shirt you can go grab. There will be limited run t-shirts dropping very, very soon over on the TeePublic or Teespring if you haven't already seen it in the link tree below. So make sure you grab those. Follow on all social media. If this is the first time listening for you, subscribe to that YouTube channel. We're trying to hit 10K by the end of the year, and I'm trying to do it naturally and not pay for it like all these other jabroni-ass content creators, as well as 100 members on that membership program on the 5-tier channel 5. I think they call it the champ level. You get to see interviews early before everyone else. So this interview you could have seen probably 3 or 4 days or a month early before everybody. That is the perk to the $5 membership. You get early access to things before everyone else. That's all I really got when it comes to the housekeeping of this podcast. Make sure you leave a 5-star review on audio platforms as well as Spotify. You can leave a comment. All those comments are great engagement. Keep me humble, keep me on the right track. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like, and screenshot this episode and tag myself and my guest. And maybe there's a question you didn't hear answered that you can ask in the comment section. Let's keep that engagement going and reaching out to one another. So without further ado, let's bring in my guest today. I'll let them introduce themselves. But here's Zenith. What's going on?
Hi, Zenith in the building. Life's going on. How you doing?
Yeah, I feel that. Life is wild.
Yes.
I've been knocked around so much in just 6 days. I got a job, lost a job, then lost it again. I'm just still waiting for a start date. So this has been a
Welcome to
great
wrestling life. When
No,
you
this
don't
is a
want to take
shoot job.
calls.
This is like I left a shoot job to
Oh,
go to another shoot job, and they've been playing with me for 2 weeks now. So it's been a great 2025. But I roll with the punches. That's just what I do. I'm a
I love
tough
that for
cookie.
you.
Yeah.
Keep it
So tell people who
positive.
you are and a little bit about yourself.
I'm Zenith. I'm a mommy for the mommies in the wrestling industry. Outside of wrestling, I'm a legitimate mom. I'm also a personal trainer, certified master personal trainer. So I train people with hip replacements, knee injuries, bodybuilding, all the above, online and in person at King of Gains in Cinnaminson, New Jersey.
I thought you were a Philly based. You're out of Jersey.
I'm actually born and raised in New Jersey, but Philly based because I'm coming out of Catch Point.
Yeah. I won't hold a jersey against you. It's yeah.
Look, I'm not gonna lie, like I love Jersey. It's so
So
chill.
here's the question: when you're in Philly and you need gas, do you wait until you get the jersey so you have to get out of your car?
Um,
The answer is
it
yes.
depends on if I'm feeling bad and bougie. If I feel bad and bougie, then I'll drive to a Wawa in Jersey. If I'm feeling very, I can do it myself, I got this, then I will pump my own gas.
You're in Philly, you're in Pennsylvania, you're like strong, independent woman. I can pump my
Yes.
own gas.
Strong independent, and then and be like, here's my card. Can I get 20 plus? Thank you. Yes.
That's great. So we'll start right off here. When did you fall in love with the world of professional wrestling?
Back in, I want to say October 2020, I believe, in Maryland, I went to I want to say my second Ring of Honor performance, and it was, I can't remember who he was versing, but it was Jonathan Gresham, right? And he puts him in a hold and smacks his butt. And I was in the second row, on the floor, and I was like, "Who's your daddy?" And Jonathan Gresham said, "Hey," he heard me and pointed at me. And in that moment, I was just like, "This is my people."
Now, were you a wrestling fan going into the House of Glory, like that Ring
No,
of
I
Honor
was
show?
actually not a wrestling fan before this. Before this, I was a full-time singer and musician. I have music on Apple Music to prove it, and YouTube and Spotify. But I'm a wrestler now.
You don't sing at all anymore?
Sing when people ask me to. I don't mind. But I'm trying to work on my own intro. Stop it. It's
I
supposed to be
love
a
that.
surprise.
You said it, not me. So what are
I
you like? You
know,
like
but
a gospel church singer?
no, I actually did jazz.
Really?
Yes, jazz.
That's awesome.
Yes.
How long were you singing for?
I've been singing since I came out the womb, sir.
I love that. So you want to hear a funny thing? I used to
Yes.
be the only white dude in an all black church choir.
So that means you got pipes. You made it.
No, I don't.
You
They thought it was funny. It was a complete rib. They brought me up there. I did the fly away. It was terrible. It was
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It had to be good enough for you to stay with the crew now. Come on.
No, I didn't stay in the church very. I was not a church person. I have 666 tattooed on me. I didn't stick in the church very long.
I'm a PK and I don't go back, so it's okay.
Yeah, my mom's I called her Sharon. Miss you forever. She's no longer with us, but she was the pastor of the church, and I was essentially taken in by her and the family and all the brothers and
So there's
stuff.
even more that we're
Yeah,
connected through.
she
I like
she
it.
used to tell people come to the church like, these are my sons. This is da 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 da, and then she would leave me last, like, and that's my other son Anthony, and they'd be like, she's like, we didn't leave him in the oven long enough, baby. That's what she used to tell people. She's like, that's my little white devil, because it's hard to keep him in church. I would sleep. She would make me sleep over on a Saturday, so I was there Sunday morning. Church was in their house. They had it in their house. I lived across the street. I would go downstairs and use the bathroom and just go home and go back to sleep.
Oh my goodness. But that's a legitimate church for you right there. That's a you got an experience that a lot of people will not
So
ever
I
get
went
in their
to
life.
all white churches, obviously growing up. The Irish churches where you have to kneel, stand, kneel, stand, kneel, stand. You can't understand anything they're saying. It's terrible. And then I went to my first black church, and I was there for 6.5 hours, 4.5 praise and worship services. People, first time I seen someone speak in tongues and fall out, I was like, do we call an ambulance? Like, what do we do here? Like, I was terrified. I had no idea
The
what was going on.
shouting.
Yeah, it scared the shit out of me. I was like, I seen The Exorcist. This is how it starts. Yeah.
No, that's hearing this is like a breath of fresh air because just I used to invite my friends just to see how they thought comparing it, and they'd be like, "That's not church."
Yeah, it's way
I'll be
more
like, "No,
fun.
it's black church."
Yeah, it's way more fun. The only problem is, like, they don't give a shit about football on Sundays. So I'm like, 1 o'clock game. Let's go. Wrap it up.
They'll go into another prayer, then there's offering, and then there's the preaching, and then
Yeah,
there's another offering.
yeah. Can't handle all that. I think
Lord.
they gave me roles in the church so I wouldn't leave early. That was like the move. Like, let's make him deacon. Let's make him this job so he doesn't leave. Because I was like,
They made me start recording it.
yeah, I did. That's how I got into videography and photography. They gave me a camera. Like, the Lord said, He has a mission for you when it comes to using video and audio equipment. I go, no, the Lord, you just want me in this damn church. He didn't say shit to you.
Right? Oh, I had to stay there for the whole live. I was just like, no.
Yeah, bad news. Great. I love that though. That's amazing. So
Yes.
after the ROH show, was it immediate for you to fall in love with pro wrestling? Did you seek it out more after that, or was it just like a one-time thing and then found it again later?
Oh, I kept going. It was RH. Then whenever there was a show, locally in Philly, I tried my best to be out there and get there. And then one day I just found myself at Catch Point. During Before they even opened, they had some drop-ins during the summer of 2023 before the official opening. And I just, came for the drop-in. I watched, didn't jump in because in my head at that moment, I'm like, I'm still like a musician. Like, I'm just very athletic, but I'm a musician. And I didn't really like jump in, but I just kept finding myself in the environment. And I think what really did it for me is hearing Drew say that anybody could do this. And like hearing him hear it say it like repeatedly, Drew Gulak, he repeatedly was just like, anybody can do this. I'm like, I could be a wrestler. And it was interesting. So one day, I was on the sidelines during an actual class, And I got dressed and I was like, Vita Von Star was like, hey, let me teach you how to lock up. And I was like, sit. I was like, don't mess this up. This is your first chance, right? We lock up, boom. And it was I don't know. It's like you ever like just like how they say you fall in love, like it's like love at first sight.
Yeah.
Love at first lockup.
Love at first lockup. I mean,
Love at first lockup.
Vita's a great lockup partner for your first
Vita
time too.
Vita,
Yeah.
it wasn't like, oh, like I'm just gonna teach you something and I'm gonna do it and like here, you put your arm here, you put your arm here. No. She just said, boom, you're in it. And now I'm gonna show you. All right, hold my arm. I'm in it. And I'm like, whoa, we're doing this now. But the lack of hesitation to teach me made me feel like I could learn.
Yeah. Now,
Just jump in the rhythm.
were you always like super into fitness as well? Like now, obviously, when you see you, Zenith, the wrestler, you're like you are a mini John Gresham. You're short and you're stocked. You know what I mean? Like you're a little muscle hamster. That's what they usually call them. But so was that like when you were a performer? Were you always in the gym and active, and or was that even new too of the body transformation?
No, I've been working out since the fifth grade.
Wow.
Yes, I've been lifting since the fifth grade. Of course, on and off. Once I like got more into music and I actually had to travel, like I've been to Amsterdam, Tennessee, toured up the East Coast and stuff during my high school years. But I stayed in the gym once I found like some time and stability between the performances. So I just always been up on my body since the fifth grade. It's just
Were you
something
like
that
clap or else?
I it's funny. I was more like not even focused on muscle building. It was how many push-ups can I do today? Now let's do some diamonds. Let's do da 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 da. Because as a kid, I used to have my cousins used to challenge me and be like, bust out 10 diamond push-ups. And I'd be like in church in a dress and I'd just be like, bang, boom, 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 boom. And I was just always freakishly strong growing up. And I loved being a strong woman. And even though it was like, oh, tomboyish, oh, like, roughhousing, that was just me naturally.
Did you play sports as well? Were you active with sports?
No. Mm-mm.
So
I
like
asked.
wrestling's your first physical activity.
All right, so here, hold on, let's back it up. So when I was younger, I asked my dad to play football. No, no daughter of mine's playing football. All right, whatever. Um, and I was like, I wanted to be a Navy SEAL, like weird. And they're like, there's no female Navy SEALs, and you're too short, and your body wouldn't make it. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. Went to college and just keeping up on my body by like, just going to the gym with the trainers and the rest of the teams and stuff. They tried to pick me up for track. I was never interested in track. I
Yeah, you
don't find the
you can lift
amusement
weights
in.
to run.
Yeah,
Running's
I
tough.
wasn't finding the amusement in going in circles. It failed epically, but they promised me a scholarship. So I was like, hey, and they needed more people to make it to finals. So, I got into the rabbit hole of that. I don't even think I got the scholarship. It didn't even last. I probably went to one meet and they put me in the mile. And I was like, why? I was like, we never even done the mile in any of our track trainings. What made you think if you could? The most I've done in track in the practices is probably sprint for 30 seconds and jog in a circle 7 times.
Did you walk the mile? Were you like walking
No,
it?
even worse. No one told me that I wasn't supposed to put on the running cleats for the mile. I just thought I was supposed to put on the shoes because I'm on the track. Put on the trackers because you're on the track. So I'm the only one on there with the spikes on the shoes looking so bad. I literally like didn't even do a full lap. We started. So the start was on one side of the track and my team was on the other side in the bleachers. I literally just ran to the bleachers
You didn't
and
even
just
finish the
walked up.
race?
I didn't even finish the race. I was like, you guys are a joke. I don't know what made you think I was gonna do this mile all of a
Yeah.
sudden. We did not speak of this. There's a lack of communication. I would have told you before you even put me in this. Keep me in like a long jump or something. Because
Yeah.
I'm new to sports, but I definitely wasn't running a mile all of a
Which
sudden.
you have like strong legs. You would have killed it in hurdles.
Right? Right? But no, they needed more people in the mile.
Unless the hurdle is really tall. And
No,
yeah.
I got the hops. I got the hops. I'll be honest. But what made you think I was gonna run a mile on a random Saturday when I haven't done it before?
Yeah, that's wild. I like the movie. I actually did that in a football game. I quit at halftime and I just took my equipment off on the sidelines and just walked to the locker room and then sat in the bleachers and heckled the team. I knew I was a heel from the beginning. Like
It
the
wasn't
parents were
even
chasing me out of the stadium. Like it was bad. It was really bad. Like your team fucking sucks.
no,
Yeah, I did. I totally did. I got my life threatened. It was great.
it was great.
Yeah, I've had this heel in me forever.
I love it. I love it.
My
I'm
friends
glad
like,
you knew who you were.
you're gonna get us killed. I'm like, fuck them.
I like that. Don't back down. You stay true.
Yeah. So learning wrestling and coming into it at late, I would say later in the game, right? A lot of people who are in pro wrestling are pro wrestling fans. Like they're like how you have music in your life from the beginning. Most pro wrestling fans, it's been in their life since the beginning. They know all that. What was it like seeing how women's wrestling is deemed now, and then going back and doing your research and being like, holy shit, this has come a long way in a short time?
So for me, wow, there's so many ways to answer that question because we touched two different things. So I'll
Yeah.
touch the first thing first. Coming in with a no wrestling background and having to deal with people that have been looking at wrestling their whole life. There are moments where we're face to face and they are calling like fans or like mentioning a million of different wrestling names, and I'm like, yeah, totally.
Yeah, 2000 Royal Rumble. I
Yeah,
remember that.
2001. And I'm like, bro, I'm still studying the 90s. Like I haven't even gotten there yet. Like, so then but I do my due diligence. Like I take when people like mention their favorite wrestlers and wrestling matches and this specific matching time. I actually I text it to myself to my business phone and go back and watch it, because if I
Okay.
ever do run into the person, I want to be able to bring it up. I feel like whenever people tell me those things, they're like little gems that I should probably go watch.
Yeah, totally. Because well, obviously, it's a moment in a match that has stuck with that person so much because they have consumed so much wrestling. So there
Hmm.
has to be a gem in that match that you can latch onto that makes you better because you can learn how to make a moment for someone as well.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. So I go back and I watch it and just see what the people like as well. Yes.
Yeah.
And then the other part of your question was women's wrestling. Seeing where women's wrestling has come from and what it is now, I'm so satisfied to be a Black woman wrestling in 2025. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm very happy I am a Black woman wrestling in 2025. And a
Yeah.
woman at that wrestling in 2025. To see what it has come to and where we are at now, we have Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and a whole lot of representation on the scene that is getting the
Willow,
recognition. Yes,
my personal
Willow.
favorite,
You would
Athena.
have you would have down the whole list.
Yeah.
But yes, I personally, and like for me personally, being a mom and seeing like one of my favorite wrestlers is Jade Cargill, because she's also a mom that's fit, that pushes to still live your dreams. And I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely resonates with you. Your personality definitely shines through when it comes to who you are and how you conduct yourself.
Thank
We
you.
got to see you the first time at the Battle Royal for Suplex Mania, where you went out, and I just remember them like, that's the first woman of catch points. Like, all right, I'm rolling with it. And I just like I didn't get any notes on anybody. And I found out that I called Rulio, and on the podcast he was like, yeah, my first biggest match of my career, commentary guy calls me Rulio and just butchered the whole thing. I go, that was me. My bad. He's like, technically no one gave you any notes. I watched the whole show. Commentary got zero instruction on what to do. You guys wing, like, it was improv the whole time. But yeah, but you guys came out. A lot of you like really impressed me. Like the Catch Point young crowd that was coming in was like inspiring, and I was like, oh shit, we got to find more ways to utilize a lot of these people. And then we started seeing some of you come more into the Northeast Pennsylvania area, whether it be Sanctuary, whether it be Smash Master Wrestling, New Era, High Tension. It was really cool to start see our fightertainment, you know, Ben the Bean showing up and beating Speedball Mike Bailey. Like a lot of opportunities were coming for this next wave of Catch Point wrestlers, and it was cool to see you as the first woman to do it.
Yes. I actually remember that day very well. It was interesting because I'm like, okay, I'm doing a battle royal. Yeah, what's up? Okay. And then I get in the locker room and they're like, Zenith. And they called out my name. And mind you, I've been on the scene before because, like, I've been a Catch Point through. I'm like one of the designated drivers. So I was driving people around. So the guy that booked the show only knew me as Mommy Zenith with my son. So it was, oh, you're Zenith. You're in gear now. Oh, with makeup. Oh, okay. And you're a woman. I don't even think they realized I was the woman because I was the only woman in the match.
Yeah, you definitely were.
Yeah, I was the only woman in the match.
Which I think made it better for
oh,
you.
yeah, like what? I was so I like roughhousing. Oh, let's get
Who
rough.
there was somebody big in the match that you Samoan dropped or scoop slammed?
I scoop slam.
It was someone big.
Rojas.
Yeah.
Rojas. You actually interviewed him. He's one of your
Yeah.
I think your first or second interview.
Yeah. I thought there was somebody big though. Like there was a spot where somebody big came in, and that was like your strength spot that put you over in the Rumble. I could be wrong, or maybe I'm thinking of a different show, but I remember you just like scoop slamming everybody. I think it was
I
somebody
did
big.
go down the line. I think was it or did I? No, I threw Houdini out over the ropes.
Yeah,
I
was it
brought
too?
him
Yeah.
in, scooped him, and bring him out over the ropes. But I did do a big body slam on Rojas.
Yeah, it was a cool
Yeah.
moment. I was like, "Oh, look, the strength! Like this is dope." So how did you land the name Zenith? Where does that come from? And the look, the face paint, where does that all come from?
So the name Zenith actually came from training. So my trainers were giving us names to work while we're training for the 6 weeks, and I got Zenith. And as I went to study Zenith, and I'm like, Zenith, warrior, going into the cartoons and such. And I loved it. And I was like, wow, I was like, in a way, I was like, okay, I could see myself being this powerful. I like the power in the name behind it. So I just kept with it. I didn't have an issue with it. And I just kept pushing. Now I'm Zenith, and I'm just Zenith the mom for the mommies.
For the mom. That needs to be a t-shirt. We need Zenith for
Yes,
the mommies t-shirt.
getting it done now.
Love that. I know someone who makes logos. If you need it, hit up WitchCraftsByLilly. She's pretty decent.
On the other phone now.
I don't know if you heard of her. So what you kind of said that getting into the school, what was you said you found it online. When you went to the school for the first time, did you go alone? Did you show up with a group of people? Did you go with somebody, or were you just like walking in by yourself into a random warehouse to go learn how to wrestle?
Well, I actually was taking someone else that was actually interested in going to school more than me in repeatedly. And so I just had to be in the environment.
Yeah.
What in mind?
What do you think makes Catch Point stand out as a school? Like you going in with very little wrestling experience and then them kind of coaching you through that. Like what are the steps that makes Catch Point a selling point that you would tell other people why they should go there?
Catch Point, in my opinion, is a no game zone that keeps it very real. If you do something that sucks, they're going to be transparent. I don't think you should be doing that. And they're going to tell you why you shouldn't be doing that. And they're going to tell you to your face, that sucked. But we are going to make it better. They're going to be like, I don't think it's that way, but we are going to make your idea better. They didn't kill the dream. They told you why it wasn't working, and now we're going to improve it. That was one thing I liked. Two, it was the variety of coaches. Um, I not only just trained under Drew Gulak, Willer Yuta, Nate Wallace. They also brought in Layla Hirsch, which I think was also another pull-in point for me because she was a young, strong woman, already in the wrestling scene doing her thing, and also short. And one of the things that I was insecure about was I'm kind of short. I don't think if I make it to the big screen, nobody wants to see my little self going da 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 da. But watching Layla Hirsch move and hit them ropes, boom, doo doo doo, boom, still getting the 3 steps in between to the other ring. Height didn't matter. Her legs was going like she was 6 feet. I was like,
And she's got legs like tree trunks.
yes, she does.
She's
So that
jacked.
was another pull in. But it was just the no games territory. Like it was just you want to be somewhere, tell us where you want to be, and we're going to make a plan and help you push yourself to where you want to be. And just felt like home since.
I love that. In the beginning stages, how was it finding your place as a professional wrestler and finding your place not just at Catch Point, but in the wrestling scene in general, like going to other shows and fitting into locker rooms that you're maybe new at, and those beginning the early stages.
Showbiz isn't new to me. Like I said, I have traveled to Amsterdam for competitions. I've competed in Berkeley College of Music, jazz festival a couple times. Locker rooms is nothing new. The show environment, training environments. I compared it to music training. I mean, music
Hmm.
practices and such. So I just held myself accordingly and just adjusted to the athletics of it now. You still have your professionalism, your showmanship, your keep your voice up, be polite, say hi to everyone. That's something that actually is not just in the wrestling industry, but can translate to the music industry as well. So it wasn't that big of a jump per se when having to conduct myself around people.
Yeah. I just thought of an amazing spot for you in wrestling too. Now that you can sing, you know how Billy Avery comes out and he belts out those pipes and those amazing voices. You should do it
Yeah,
back to him one time in a match. You
I
should
don't
have a
know if
sing
I
off
have
with
a video. I actually sing sometimes in training. If I'm like practicing by myself, I sing to get my nerves out and then I moonsault off the top rope sometimes.
I
I
seen the
might
second
have a
rope
video
moonsault.
of
That
it.
was good.
Thank you, thank you. But I actually
Yeah.
sing to help with my nerves in the ring. So I might actually bring that out more.
Yeah, bust it out. Yeah. I mean, listen, even if like you're at a not saying it'll ever happen, but if there's a moment where you have to sit out for a show or two, like go ring announce. Like Samantha Irvin was a great singer who can translate her voice in that aspect.
Mhm.
But I will say this, with Catchpoint and with you, their social media game has been fantastic. I love those little vignette promos of like, I'm Zenith and I'm gonna do this. So then it shows you training and cutting a promo and like watching
Yes.
everyone get their own version of that. I love them. They're so good.
That was an amazing experience. I wish I was ready for you to ask this question because I would have had their names up too. Um, but when the school reached out and was like, "Hey, we're going to be recording little vignettes and doing stuff," I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." I was not really prepared to do the full. I'm Zenith, and so
Yeah.
I was in the side room like, "What am I going to say? Let me just really think about this." But once I got out there and we're recording, it was so much fun. My favorite one, if I'm being honest, is the Vinny Velato one with can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the American
Matt Quay, the
War.
American
Yeah,
Hammer.
Matt Quay. Yep,
Yeah.
here you go. Here you go.
Where they're
Matt
wrestling.
Quay, Vinny
Yeah.
Velata, and Matt Quay going at it like it was Street Fighter, going back. Well,
I thought it
I'm
was,
gonna boom boom. Boom.
yeah, it's so good. I love them.
My favorite.
So, we talked about some of the positives and finding your place in the locker room. What were some setbacks or adversities that you have overcome or that you still have go through in professional wrestling?
I would say my biggest thing is overcoming my own fears as a wrestler. I'm venturing out into high flying more. So it's a mental game of you versus you. You got to believe in yourself and trust in yourself that you're going to land on your feet. And that's the biggest adversity I come in to play is getting over my overthinking.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're saying 2025, we may see a completely different style wrestler Zenith coming out. Maybe
Maybe
some
not a different
adding some
style, but a
aerials,
little
huh?
sprinkle, just a
Yeah.
sprinkle of some pizzazz for entertainment.
Use it when it's important. Don't give it away all the
Yes.
time.
And
You know
it's
what I
like
mean?
I said, sprinkle.
Yep. Yeah. Brock Lesnar always didn't hit a shooting star, but when he did, it meant something until his opponent was halfway across the ring and then he almost died doing it.
Mhm.
So it's very early to say a lot of these things, but I usually the question normally here is, have you felt like you hit your peak or yet? But we know, and I know probably just from you, you're too motivated to say like I'm not even close to a peak. I already know how that answer is going to play out. So I'm going to change it up a little bit, and I'm going to ask you, what do you feel that you need to improve on your game going into 2025?
I want to improve on my technicalities, of course. I also do technical wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
but I actually want to work that more into my matches and not just have the power aspect. I want to show people that, hey, I know I'm coming from a musician background, but I want to show wrestling its respect. I want to give the building blocks, give the people technical power and high flying. I want to show my respect for the business completely.
I love that. Now, here's the only thing I said. I'm gonna give you a little critique here. Uh, I watched you work intergender matches. I watched you work dudes, and I've watched you lay punches and kicks on dudes, and they look amazing. And then I get you and I put you in a women's match, and you throw pillows at these girls, knock their heads off, hit them the same way you hit a dude. It makes you look weak as the powerhouse. You're like,
I'm gonna take my note and I will adjust accordingly. Because if ABJ said it, I gotta do it.
I
I
think it
gotta do it.
happens a lot with women's wrestling, and I'm not like only because I don't know if it's the overthinking of if I hit her too hard, she's gonna get upset with me, or if I hit a dude too hard, if I don't hit a dude hard enough, they're gonna yell at me. So I like, and then there's some females that go out there and they kill each other, and it looks awesome, and they're not afraid to lay them in on each other. But I understand where you're coming from, where if you've never worked a person before, or if you don't see each other very often, you don't want to go in there and be stiff and then be like, oh, now they hate me.
ABJ. I'm a woman that benches 200 pounds as a
I,
PR.
I know
You
you
really want me to lay it in? Do
not
you
fully,
really want me to
but
lay it
put a
in?
little in there.
I do put a little, but people bruise too easily today,
Bruise them up,
okay?
bruise them up, bruise them up.
I'll take the
Bruiserweight
note. I
division.
will
Yeah.
take the note and I will adjust accordingly.
Yeah, I will say from just in a year span in 2024 of seeing you from beginning to Mania weekend to seeing end of the year with you and Valerie Verman, like your game has improved vastly, and you can tell your hard work and your everything you're putting into it. Like we were just talking about before, I think I wasn't at the Hamburg Field House, legendary Hamburg Field House, but you like leaned up. You're saying you dropped almost 30 pounds, and it's
Yes.
you didn't need to lose 30 pounds before, but you are just like you're chiseled up. I'm proud of you. You put a lot of work in. You're always on your social medias. You're posting your workouts. You work super hard, and
Thank you.
it's only going to keep going up for you because you have that mind state. And it's cool that you come from another industry and kind of carried the music over to the wrestling. It's because
Thank
it's
you.
so I kind of started the same way. I wasn't in a music, but I was like a roadie for a band where I kind of showed up and helped them carry their equipment in and drove them home when they were all drunk. So there's a lot of similarities in the music business as there is a wrestling business. It's very corny.
Exactly.
uh,
It does correlate.
so what are some key moments or accomplishments that you have succeeded with so far in your career that you're proud of?
Key moments and accomplishments. I am proud of sticking it out this long. You know, some people take that bump and be like, I'm not doing this no more.
That'd be me.
I'm proud that I'm still doing it. That's my biggest accomplishment is that I have not given up on myself.
Any matches or anything that stand out?
Now, I might actually post this. As soon as you post this, I'll post it right after.
Okay.
I'll let it be visible. My number one match, Dolly Darko versus Zenith for NYWC. It was an outdoor match.
That's right. I
It
remember
was
someone recently just said they seen you up at NYWC that listens to the podcast, and they were aware of you
Mhm.
going into NYWC because of the podcast. His name was Alex. He looks like a little rat with long hair. He loves me. It's fine. But he was like, "Oh, I met Zenith. I don't know if he approached you or anything about the podcast or anything, but
Mhm.
he came up to me. He called me immediately after your match and was like, "Yo,
So
she just had a banger match." I go, "That's Zenith. She's
that
the goat."
was, I believe that was the match. Let me pull up my notes.
You have your
That
notebook?
match. Yes, yes, I have my little notebook in front of me. Of course I do. We take
I love
notes
that.
here. Of course. I had Ava Everett. That was the match that I closed the year out with. On December 28th, my last match.
How was NYWC as a venue?
Absolutely loved it. Completely packed. And I had like so many moms in the front seat holding their kids. I love it. Very
A lot of
mom
a lot
friendly.
of a lot of amazing women came out of that school too. You have your Chris Statlanders, you have your Willow
Yeah.
Nightingales. Like, I think Willow
Mhm.
recently just, I don't know if it was that show or the one before that, she just got inducted into the NYWC Hall of Fame.
Yes, she did. Yes,
Yeah.
I was actually looking at her flyer up in there when I was there the other day. But I was wrestling Amity Levy on
Yeah, I've been
December
hearing good things
28th.
about her. She has a cool
Oh,
look.
amazing. Amazing look. Oh, geez, I love her. But yes, Amity, and I would say the significance of the match with the Dolly Darko from NYWC is our chemistry was so strong to the point that we're tag teaming now.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we just announced last night, which I will be posting later as well. We are a tag team, and Dolly Darko, Zenith joining forces together forever as Rush Hour.
Okay. You got to take
Yeah.
on Survival of the Thickest. Uh um Sammy Chaos and Christine. I think it's Christine, right? They're a
Yes,
tag
and
team.
Sammy
Yeah.
Chaos actually does wrestle in FWA as well. So let's
Yeah.
see if we can get that happening. We just declared an open challenge, you know,
I love you to
to be
death.
the
I don't know
best.
if I want Sammy Chaos walking down the aisle. That scares the
I
shit out of me.
I wrestled Sammy Chaos before.
How'd it work out? Oh yeah, was it PPW?
No, it was at was it? I think it was I want to say it was outside of this super crazy building, but for which one? So many different promotions I gotta keep up.
Honestly, I think a cool like dojo war style, like fight club type deal. I like when
Pro
schools
Wrestling
collaborate.
War.
Pro wrestling, okay. When
Mhm.
schools collaborate with each other, the school she's from, Battlefield or Battle Club. I think it's Battle Club. I always get confused them because I always think of Alpha's promotion and they're very similar. But their school in New York and Catch Point collaborating would be sick because like their school has like Prince Ahmed and Jorge Sante and Masha Slamovich is his coach up there, and
Mhm.
mix that with the Tracy Hot Sauce Williams, Wheeler Yuta, and Drew Gulak. That would be a seminar for the ages. Like that'd
Oh,
be
that
two
would be
schools that would be
awesome.
sick to collaborate. Yeah,
That would be awesome.
you versus
I,
Cosmic would be a cool match too. Cosmic's a female wrestler out of that school.
yeah,
She's a badass. Yeah, look into that. If you're traveling to New York that way, definitely check them out.
no, I'll definitely
they're
check it out.
they're a sick mix between, they're a newer school. They've been around for a couple years now, but it's like a mix between like how a former House of Glory and former like Johnny Rod's school students who then started their own school. So it's like that
Mhm.
high flying, but also like beat the shit out of you tough guy school mixed together. It's awesome. I love
Yeah,
what they're putting out at that
I
place.
like
And they do
that.
a lot of stuff on social media. Like they're always videotaping
Mhm.
classes and stuff they do. They're, like I said, them and Catchpoint are very good on their social media game of putting out what their school offers, and they're
Mhm.
super dope.
I'll be honest, you had me at Masha Slamovich because I was watching her and Drew, and solid match. I loved
Yeah,
it.
I love Mosh is probably one of my
Yes,
favorites. Yeah, she's
same.
amazing. I hope everyone. I can't wait for Jordan Grace to go to WWE, but I can't wait for Masha to make her way to WWE or anywhere in the
Right?
world where I could watch her on a consistent basis.
Jordan versus Masha. Ooh,
That's happened like 15 times, and not every
I
time it's been
know.
amazing. Yeah,
Every time.
yeah,
I can see it again.
yeah.
In person would
It,
be even better.
yeah. Well, speaking of people like Masha and Jordan Grace, who are some influences and role models for you in this industry, whether it be in the industry or just in your personal life in general?
Role models and influences in general. Um, I'll leave the controversial one for the bottom. Okay, so
Controversy. Okay.
okay,
Was it Chris
my
Benoit? Like, what?
come on. I said for the
Oh,
bottom.
is that a little?
Why would you say that first? You gotta save the best for last.
I just took a shot in the dark. I didn't think that
Jeez.
was gonna
Of
actually be
course
it.
it's him. I was just watching him before I literally was just watching him before I got on
I
the
would have
mic.
never guessed. I mean, obviously I did, but I didn't think you were gonna go there. He's in ring. He's amazing. Yeah,
In
totally
ring,
amazing.
amazing.
Everything else is yikes. Not
Don't
good.
talk about it.
Yeah.
Yikes. But yeah, save the best for last.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez. Of course, at the top would be Jonathan Gresham. Of course, who's your daddy? I'll never forget that. Jonathan Gresham. Then it would be Bianca Belair, and then we would have RVD.
RVD. Okay.
Yes, and
I have
then
a ECW Television Championship up there.
yes, and then Jade Gargill. She's the umbrella over them all because personally she's a mom, so she doesn't even have to be on the list to count.
Hmm.
Yes,
And she's
if I get a
insanely
match with
jacked.
her, I think I might have a heart attack. I don't know.
Soon.
Before and
Keep
after.
grinding. It'll happen. Keep grinding. It'll pop up for you.
Yes, I hope so.
Anyone else that stands out for you?
That would be it for now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, you said you're watching 90s wrestling, right?
Yes.
Did you watch any Jacqueline matches yet?
Yes, I actually have watched a few Jacqueline, but I've been really focused on Awesome Kong.
Awesome Kong. She's very good too. Jacqueline was so underrated. Her and Victoria or Tori were
Mhm.
super good at that time, and they were like the only two who actually were wrestlers, where everyone else were kind of like swimsuit models. But they were super good. Yeah, I'm a big fan of both of them. Awesome Kong is so good too. Did not get enough credit in the WWE, or they what a bigger company. So goals you have set for yourself, whether it be personally or in your industry. What are you shooting for 2025?
For 2025, I'm shooting past the stars. I'm training every day. Seriousness hasn't met seriousness until it's met me. Like I don't know how I can tell you otherwise, and I'm just full focus, zoned in on being the best Zenith I can be. Let the passion take me further.
I love that. I'm really impressed with the tape study too. How you're going back and researching stuff. I think that's such a underutilized thing that a lot of people in this industry don't do. Like going back and rewatching things and doing it for a tape study purpose. Like I think a lot of people in the business watch the business, but they watch it still from fan point and not from like what can I learn from this standpoint. And I think that's a huge missed opportunity for a lot of people. So when it comes to outside of wrestling, when you're not in mom mode or you're not in wrestling mode or workout mode or I guess sleeping, I don't know if there's any other time in between that. What do you do for hobbies or things that keep you interested?
Outside of mom wrestling, mom. Um, the only thing on my plate is being a caretaker for my mom. That's what I don't mention to the world, really.
Mhm.
If you pay attention to my story, you may see like me in the hospital here and there. Um, my only other hobby would be taking care of my mom. and she just had heart surgery, and she's also going through kidney failure. And so, outside of being a mom, outside of wrestling, outside of working out, I'm on call for her 24/7.
Mhm.
And I live my hobbies through her. Like, I talk to her about wrestling. I talk to her about my gear ideas. We'll watch TV together. We'll watch Marvels together. I'm about to surprise her with her favorite TV show when we grew up was Heroes, and I bought the DVD.
Oh
I brought
my
the DVD
God.
version, so whenever I am not doing any of these things, we can rewatch it together. But
What an amazing show that the writer strike ruined. It was so good. So good.
amazing,
What was the character? Was it
amazing.
Skylar? The guy who would take the piece of your brain and steal your power?
It was
Oh,
amazing.
such a great
Exactly.
show. I was obsessed with it for a long, long time. I think I loaned a DVD box set out to somebody and they stole it. Yeah.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
That look, you could put it right in the
It's
Xbox. I put it
yeah,
right in the
it's
Xbox, and we keep it going.
now your passion and your love and obviously that bond between you and your mom, it makes a lot of sense because how much you're are proud yourself to be a mom. So what are some things that that instilled that for you to pass on to your child?
the the drive to stay positive and just, you know, keep the world magical. I've watched my mom like sacrifice her last time to make sure that we just had magical experiences. And the money always comes back. That's the thing. Money always comes back. Don't worry about it. You want to go do this? Go do that. I watched her help fund part of our trip to Amsterdam as in high school because like I said, we were traveling, competing jazz artists. Fun part of that for a bunch of kids that weren't even hers. And just so they could experience it as well. She was just a mom to a lot of people other than me, and still was an amazing mom. To this moment now, she's sad she can't come to all my shows. And I'm like, Mom, you came to like almost every jazz event, whether I lost or won, every New Year's, float playing, every little singing thing I did. I'll send you the video. Relax and rest now. She showed me what it was to be a mom. Like you're not just a mom to your own kid. The mom instinct kind of travels to everyone else around you once you're a mother in a way. And she still does that to this day. Asking about other people. I'm like, you just had heart surgery. Why are you stressing about like the next kid?
Yeah. Sounds
But
exactly like
she
the mom who raised me.
that just genuine love,
Yeah.
and that's like a influence that I also want to have on other people, is that it's cool to be a mom.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I fucking love that. Well, I want to kind of go back a couple questions when it comes to influences and role models. Who are some people in the music side, or like you said, the jazz aspect of like people you listen to when it comes to that music taste?
Religiously, I listen to Layla Hathaway. I'm old school. Shantae Khan.
I don't know a lot
Snark.
of jazz singers, so you're educating me
Yeah,
on new people. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. um, Snarky Puppy is a great listen. Trust me.
Okay.
Go listen to Snarky Puppy. They have a lot of family volumes that that'll play to your ear so you can get into jazz, but it's also like funky jazz. So it's more modern jazz. You'll get into it. And then I also have Arnetta Johnson and Netta Bop on replay. She's from Camden, New Jersey. Amazing trumpet player. Do-do-do-do. And I'm trying to plug in some more people. But
I
they're
think the
just not coming
closest I can
directly
get to
to
that
my head.
genre is like Amy Winehouse is probably the closest in that vein that I can kind of like pull from.
I love Amy
Yeah.
Winehouse.
When I went to London, I went to Camden
Vertical?
just so I can see her statue, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have a bracelet to put on the statue because everyone puts a bracelet on the statue. So I just got a
Mm-hmm.
picture with it. But yeah,
I
my
used to play Valerie all the time.
yeah,
All
she
the
was
time.
fucking unbelievable. So good.
Lovely woman.
What are some words of encouragement for a beginner? And it doesn't have to necessarily be in the world of professional wrestling. You have now traveled and chased your dreams in multiple avenues. Uh, well, what would your advice be to someone starting out that wants to chase their dreams?
Set goals, cut out distractions. As soon as you start focusing, them distractions are going to come.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you that. Set goals, cut out distractions. Remember that it's you versus you. You are going to be your biggest critic and your biggest enemy at the end of the day, because you're going to stop you from getting up. You're going to stop you from going to sleep and getting the rest that you need. You're going to stop you from making the next big move. It's like, in this world, there's nothing stronger than self, because you control you. So it's always going to be you versus you. Don't forget that.
Yeah. There's nothing you can say that hurts my feelings. I say it to myself every day.
Right?
And I'm way worse on myself. What are you grateful for? And are you currently happy?
I am grateful for my son, Nicholas. He is my pride and joy, of course. And am I currently happy? I'm overjoyed. I just had the best interview ever with ABJ. Like, what? Yes.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I genuinely enjoy talking to you. I wish there was more opportunities for us to hang out and chat outside of professional wrestling, but it'll come. But I'm
Of
very
course.
you're very inspiring, and this is why I enjoy doing this podcast. I love listening to people chase their dreams. I listen on camera. We know who we are, and off camera is when we make those relationships. And I know we all struggle and we all go through our ups and downs, but just the fact that you can keep pushing and keep grinding and doing what you're doing. I learned more layers about you today that I never thought of before with your mom and the singing and stuff. And it just makes me happy that we got to put this out for the world to see, because I think more people are going to fall in love with Zenith and go and support you and watch you on this journey now. You're, like I said, everyone, please check out the links below. Follow on all social media. In case you don't go to the links, where can people find and support you?
Uh, well, on my other YouTube channel that I'm gonna be bringing back up for 2025, Zai Tries. This YouTube channel was actually based on the fact that my real name's Zion. Um, always like to try new things and accomplish new things. And now we're gonna do a vlog of Zai Tries Wrestling.
I love that. I think more people should make content. I everyone thinks I'm in competition with everybody. I'm not. I think everyone should do this. Like, will I ever make it big? Who knows? But I love looking back in the last 7 years or 8 years of making content and seeing amazing conversations and seeing people grow from the conversation and where they go from there. Or just vlogging myself. Like, I vlogged Mania weekend. I vlogged this. I had an interview, and then I can go back to that memory that wasn't even on camera, but
The
I can remember like, oh,
memory.
we were all sitting around a table interviewing person after person after person. Like, great example, I interviewed Sturdy Sal, Eddie, Sexy Eddie, Max Zero, and 3 other dudes from Canada, and they all just sat around the table and watched at each person took turns interviewing, and they just like kept side-eyeing them or heckling the whole time. But you don't see that on camera, but the whole time, like, going back and rewatching it, you just make those memories. So yes, I love that you're doing a vlog. I love that you're recording these moments, because you're gonna look back at them later and be like, I'm happy I did that.
Yes, and that's the goal. I love like when my phone says, "Hey, memory from 4 years ago."
Yeah.
It's just like that.
So what's gonna entail with this channel? Like, what are you gonna, besides wrestling, is it gonna be just like journey throughout the day and going through that?
Well, it's whatever I want to try. So hopefully in 2025 we have Zai try skydiving, which I've been
Ooh,
trying to get to for the past 2 years. So we're gonna have a skydiving video for the first go around. Second thing I'm working on, releasing, well, not releasing, is doing a all day live for self-love and self-care on Valentine's Day.
all right, 24-hour
Yes.
stream.
And yes, a 24-hour stream, and I want to bring in interviews so people can, focus on mental health, self-love. And there's like single people on Valentine's Day that just need things to do too.
Absolutely. There may
Exactly.
be possible wrestling mental health podcast making a return with me and hosting with somebody else on the HTW Network to keep an eye out for 2025. And we're always looking for guests. So if anybody wants to come and chat it up, hit us up. We'll be doing that very, very soon. There's a lot of awesome stuff coming. I'm very, very excited for. Man, actually, I have one more closing thing. It's 2025. Everyone's posting their hit lists. Let's speak things into existence. Who does Zenith want to fight in 2025 or wrestle?
I'm all about manifesting. So let me write this down. Okay. We have on the top of the list Maya's World. There we go. I've only met her in person once, and I think at the time she didn't even know I wrestled. So top of the list is Maya's World. Second is Jada Stone.
Ooh, you guys were both at Suplex that day too.
Yes, and so was Maya. So I said, we met in person. Let's see here. Third. If I got to wrestle Tracy Williams.
I was going to say that'd be a good one. I watched Tracy versus Willow at an LVAC show, and I think Willow broke his face, if I'm not mistaken. I think she broke his orbital bone. I could be wrong, but they beat the dog shit out of each other, and it was one of my favorite matches of that year. They were unbelievable. Ask him about it. It was at Avery Goods' retirement. Yeah, it was at Avery Goods' retirement match at Weyerbacher Brewing, and it was Willow versus Tracy Hot Sauce Williams, and it was my favorite match of the show. It was awesome.
Now I'm gonna ask him about it on Thursday's training, of course.
I actually showed this off to one of your other fellow students. So
let me see.
I have my mark book, right, and most of this comes from like pro wrestling crates and stuff. So a lot of these I didn't actually personally get myself. So, but it's a whole bunch of like different autographs and stuff. Or if I get to work with somebody at a meet and greet. But I went to a venue one time, and there was old 8x10s from a wrestling company that no longer exists anymore. But they had these 8x10s sitting there, and I thought they were the coolest fucking things I've ever seen in my life. And I'll share them with you real quick. I didn't do this on camera last time with the other person I showed them to, but I thought this is pretty funny. If I can find it, Jesus Christ, where are they? But go ahead. Keep doing your list while I pull this up.
Jocelyn Navarro, and I think her name is Jasmine Howe.
Okay.
Yeah, Jocelyn Navarro and Jasmine Howe.
Now, speaking of Vita, there's Vita right there.
I freaking love Vita. We actually did a tag team match. It was me and Vita versus Salem and Mother Endless.
Mother Endless is sick too. Yeah. So do you know who these guys are?
No,
two of them are. Yeah, two of them may have helped you a little bit in your career. And the other one,
I could never.
The other one, he's a good guy. And then these guys are on AEW a couple times. Yeah. Player Uno and Player Dos. I thought I had another one there. And then these two guys. We're talking about that Avery Good. Mm-hmm. And then Deshaun Pratt. I'm a huge Deshaun Pratt guy, and that's him back in the day. Yeah, I found those other things. I was like, I'm buying those.
No, that's a super cool binder, actually. Now I kind of want one. I might start one now.
Yeah, I don't do anything with them. They kind of sit there. But if you get some cool ones every now and then, they pop them in. But
I'm gonna risk on a star and say Jonathan Gresham, of course.
Ooh. Triple threat, you Jonathan and Jordan all in one match.
Okay, I gotta put it in Jonathan versus Jordan versus me. Zeta.
Masha. Put Masha on the list.
And Masha.
Yeah.
I'm running out of paper space. I wrote too big.
Yeah. Another great talent. I think that would be a good match with you. Tasha Steeles from TNA.
Good one.
Yeah, she's really good too.
And Willow.
I was really excited for you and Valerie. I was really pumped for that. That did not disappoint at all. I think Valerie has really, really had a great 2024 of just being a good leader as a talent, but also just her character work and her in-ring ability and her her like just willing to help other people. She's just a class act person.
She was absolutely amazing to work with. I was like, when am I gonna get a match with her? Because like we kept doing the same shows, but never against each other. So I have to thank you and New Era for making that possible.
Yeah, that was
Actually,
a really fun
great
match.
experience, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah. If I have opportunities to do it in the future, I will try to help and put you on some really fun shot cards.
Thank you.
HTW has a pretty sick women's roster, or roster in general. I don't think they really go by gender barriers, so you can come in and mix it up with anybody. But
I would love to.
yeah, we'll have you come in there. Maybe some cool stuff happen in 2025. We have a lot of no ring shows coming up, as well as some cool opportunities in the Philly area, so you wouldn't have to travel very far.
I don't
But
think I would be afraid to do like an open challenge.
there you go. The Zenith Open Challenge again. Who shows up? Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I had such a blast. Once again, let's rattle it off. Where can people find and support you?
Zenith, ZNTH Pro on all handles. Except if you want to email me for booking, it's going to be Zenith, ZENITH Pro W at gmail.com. On YouTube, it's going to be Zytries, ZITRIES, Zytries, and it's going to have like a little handyman symbol on it.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time. We're going to do this again very, very soon. I want to touch back again by the end of 2025 to see the growth and progression. Or if you want to just jump on and anything else in between, we have a lot of different content we do here. I'd love to have you back. Stay in touch this year. Keep grinding. I'm proud of you. And keep going out there and killing it.
Definitely will. Thank you so much. ABJ
always.
forever.
Always. And
always.
Send me shirt size and address so I can get you a t-shirt as well.
Of course, say less.
Yeah. I was hoping to get that process started sooner, but if this job keeps pushing my start date, so it's going to be a little bit till you get it, but it will come, I promise. Yeah. All right, that'll do it. ABJ Podcast Season 3. We'll see you on the next one. If you want to be a guest, please reach out and do this episode. If you made it this far and you haven't liked, shared, subscribed, or taken a screenshot to tell us what you thought of the episode, you're insane. Takes 2 seconds. Put some positive vibes out in that world. I'm not paying these platforms to help me grow, so definitely word of mouth is how we're going to get there. Support my guests. Please do that. Subscribe to their YouTube channel and say you heard it here because of the podcast. We'll see you guys next time. We're out of here.